This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening. We begin tonight with Charlie Kirk's widow speaking out publicly for the first time since the conservative activist was assassinated earlier this week. Erica Kirk, through tears and pain, referring to her husband as a martyr. She vows to continue his nationwide college tour. It comes as we learn new information from authorities. And tonight, President Trump is telling NBC News exclusively that he would like to see the nation heal, but blamed what he calls the radical left as a barrier to it. That comes as the reaction to Kirk's assassination is becoming another flashpoint, with people losing their jobs after posting their reactions online. Our Morgan Chesky has been tracking it all and starts us off from Utah.
And our world is filled with evil. But our God, you guys, our God is so good.
Speaking publicly for the first time since the assassination of her husband, Erica Kirk stood last night by the very desk where the Turning Point USA founder would record a show, referring to him as a martyr.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
With crowds gathered outside, Kirk promised to press on with the nationwide college tour, along with the Charlie Kirk radio program and podcast.
The movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it.
Sharing her grief, she posted these images by her late husband's casket. Amid the mourning, authorities in Utah deepening their investigation into Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old they believe fired the single fatal shot at Utah Valley University, killing Kirk. NBC News obtaining 911 calls through a public records request, capturing the chaos that followed.
The Kirk speaker, you just got shot in the head.
And what happened?
He's a speaker, famous guy, Speaker Kirk.
Where
he just got shot in the middle of his speech. I'm in the parking lot. Everybody's running.
Authorities believe this video shows Robinson escaping, jumping off a roof before running to a nearby wooded area. Two law enforcement officials briefed on the investigation, saying Robinson's own father then assisted in the suspect being turned in.
We know the family was vital to making that happen.
An NBC News search of state and federal records found no indication of a prior criminal record for Robinson, whose political party was listed as none declared on his voter registration.
I woke up for work and saw his picture and immediately recognized him.
Jada Funk, still stunned. Her former classmate of 10 years is now being held for murder, describing him as a quiet, intelligent student.
I don't know what could have transpired to kind of turn him away from everything that he was working towards and doing well at, but yeah, I think it's just unfortunate all around.
And Morgan joins us now from outside the jail where the suspect is being held. Morgan, what comes next?
Jose, we anticipate formal charges against Robinson to come this Tuesday, and among those charges will be aggravated murder. In the meantime, a public memorial has now been scheduled for Charlie Kirk next week in Arizona at State Farm Stadium, where capacity is 60,000 people. Jose.
Morgan Chesky in Utah, thank you. There has been growing focus on the things people have said, largely online, about Charlie Kirk's death. People in multiple fields now removed from their jobs after mocking or celebrating Kirk's death in social media postings. Steve Patterson reports.
In the wake of the murder of Charlie Kirk, celebrated in death for his embrace of freedom of speech in life, tensions over speech are flaring. Utah Governor Spencer Cox on Friday calling for calm.
Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life.
But in the wake of Kirk's death, online fury indeed, and swift reaction to it. Two faculty members at East Tennessee State University, among several in academia facing backlash, placed on administrative leave following complaints about their online comments. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis' education commissioner issued a warning to teachers making disgusting comments about the shooting. Writing in a memo, "I will be conducting an investigation of every educator who engages in this vile, sanctionable behavior. Govern yourselves accordingly." The fallout also appearing in corporate America. Delta Airlines announcing it suspended several employees over their social media posts.
I'm sorry, we don't put that here.
Office Depot firing a Michigan employee who called a poster for a Kirk vigil propaganda and refused to print it. The company apologizing, saying in a statement, "The behavior displayed by our associate is completely unacceptable and insensitive." The response also in the federal government. A Secret Service agent put on administrative leave with an investigation underway following comments described as inappropriate. Tonight, a line being drawn over discourse.
You should be allowed to say outrageous things. You should be allowed to say contrarian things.
In the wake of the assassination of a man who defended it. Steve Patterson, NBC News.
And Kristen Welker has a big lineup on Meet the Press tomorrow, including Utah Governor Spencer Cox. Now to Chicago, where we are learning more about a deadly confrontation involving an ICE officer and an immigrant during a vehicle stop. It comes as other cities prepare for federal troops. Maggie Vespa has the latest.
The family of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, who DHS says was the undocumented immigrant killed by an ICE officer near Chicago, calling the 38-year-old a devoted father, cherished friend, and kind soul. His girlfriend, Blanca Mora, telling NBC Chicago he had no criminal history, which an NBC News review of publicly available records confirms. The sound of Friday's gunshots caught on a nearby surveillance camera. The Department of Homeland Security and ICE saying the officer fired as he feared for his life after Villegas Gonzalez from Mexico fled a traffic stop, dragging the unnamed ICE officer a significant distance, adding the officer followed his training using appropriate force. ICE saying he sustained severe back injuries, lacerations to the hand, and substantial tears to the knee. The agency adding officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults amid enforcement operations. Tensions escalating in Chicago as President Trump weighs sending National Guard troops to more Democrat-led cities, namely New Orleans and Memphis, where the city's latest stats show violent crime is down this year.
This is just a ploy. It is propaganda. It is a fear-mongering tactic.
I think if the National Guard is sent here to do real, actual work in terms of helping clean up the streets, helping reduce crime, I think there's a potential benefit.
Back here in Chicago, tensions around increased ICE raids soaring ahead of Mexican Independence Day celebrations set for tomorrow. Jose.
Maggie Vespa in Chicago, thank you. Overseas violent clashes on the streets of London as tens of thousands of people marched at a massive anti-immigration rally. Ralph Sanchez reports.
Tonight, more than 100,000 people joining a far-right protest in the heart of London. Organizers say the demonstrations, dubbed Unite the Kingdom, are calling for freedom of speech and tighter border controls.
They need to stop illegal migration into this country.
But some of the protesters turning violent, clashing with police. Authorities say 25 people were arrested. The rally organized by far-right activist Tommy Robinson.
Look at these crowds, man.
He's been jailed several times, but has powerful backers, including Elon Musk.
What I see happening is a destruction of Britain. Initially a slow erosion, but a rapidly increasing erosion of Britain with massive uncontrolled migration.
Several thousand counter-protesters also turned out. But their numbers just a fraction of the nationalist rally. A reminder of the far right's growing appeal across Europe.
And this isn't Musk's first intervention in UK politics. He's repeatedly attacked the Prime Minister here. Jose?
Ralph Sanchez in London, thank you. President Trump is putting pressure on NATO as he tries to nudge European allies to stop buying Russian oil and help end the war in Ukraine. Yamiche Alcindor is traveling with the president in New Jersey. Yamiche, good evening.
Good evening, Jose. President Trump posted a letter online today saying he's ready to impose sanctions on Russia, but not until, quote, all NATO nations have agreed and started to do the same thing, and when all NATO nations stop buying oil from Russia. The president has repeatedly threatened to impose sanctions on Russia without doing so. Meanwhile, he also urged NATO members to impose 50% to 100% tariffs on another major buyer of Russian oil, China. The president ended his message by saying, quote, if NATO does as I say, the war will end quickly. If not, you are just wasting my time and the time, energy, and money of the United States. Jose?
Yemi Schalsendor, thank you so much. We're back with a rare inside look at the life of an American spy who was undercover overseas, balancing life as a spy, wife, and mother of 5. Kelly O'Donnell reports.
An American family living abroad. Ann Butler, her husband Joe, and their 5 children, taking in the beauty of Paris, Athens, and Egypt. Their many adventures helped to conceal a secret. Mom was a spy.
It was one big journey together, the family and the mission.
During her long career at the CIA, Ann's husband knew about her job, but he also knew not to ask anything.
He never questioned where I was, who I spoke with, what we were talking about. I'd be gone for days, and he wouldn't know where I was.
To just about everyone else in her life, including her own children, Ann's true career was clandestine.
Would you have ever imagined that your mom was a spy?
Not in a million years. Like I said, she was just my mom.
Her cover? A diplomat at the State Department.
If the phone rings, you always had to answer?
Absolutely. At any time, day or night. I mean, it wasn't an option.
Seeking out and turning agents who could get her close to foreign governments and terrorist groups.
What worry did you feel about the assets that you had in place?
Oh, every day worried about whether they were going to be caught.
Ann's work required spycraft and surveillance techniques to avoid detection, with elaborate aliases and convincing disguises specially made for her. The CIA approved and limited what she could reveal in her book.
A disguise that covered my face or my hair, a wig, that was created specifically for me. So it really fit and looked normal.
But intrigue and adrenaline came at a cost. During her tour in war-torn Sarajevo, separated from her family, she missed her son's first birthday.
It was tough. I left thinking, what am I doing here?
Years later, her children finally learned her true profession so they could attend her retirement ceremony at the CIA.
She was really a lot more powerful than she let on, and that she had this whole other side to her that was bold and brave and confident, and I think that she was a real trailblazer.
Ann Butler says her strengths are the same as many working mothers who juggle career and family all at once. In her life as a spy, that skill was never a secret. Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, Washington.
That's NBC Nightly News for this Saturday. Hallie Jackson will be here tomorrow night. I'm Jose Diaz-Balart. Thank you for the privilege of your time, and good night.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.